Good morning, class. So welcome class 8. Also today we are going to revise grammar topics. Okay. So for that grammar, first of all, we will start with the tenses. Okay. So for tenses, let us revise the rules of tenses. First of all, okay. So for tenses, first of all, you know what is a tense? Tense, it tells us the time of action when it has taken place, whether it has taken place in the present, it has taken place in the past, or it will take in the future. But you know that all these three main tenses, that is present, past, and future, they have further subtypes. They have further subtypes, right? First of all, we have simple present tense, simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Perfect continuous, right? So now let me adjust the camera a bit. And I hope that now it is visible to you clearly. Okay, so now first of all, in case of present tense, yes. In case of present tense, sit here. Sit down, please. So now in case of present tense, first of all, we have simple present tense. In case of simple present tense, where it is used, where simple present tense is used, where simple present tense is used, yes, in case of habitual actions, the actions that we do daily, which are in habit, okay? And when simple statements are given, affirmative statements are given, then we use simple present tense. So now what we use here verb first form plus s and es is used. But with all the pronouns it is used. But with all the pronouns it is used. Tell me. No. Okay, yes. With, you can say with singular, he, she, it, and singular, we use first form plus s or es. And with plurals, I, we, you, and they, what we use only first form of the verb. For example, he doesn't listen to me. He doesn't listen to my advice, right? For example, he is singular. This is the reason why we are using s or es with do. Okay. Okay. He speaks English very well. Okay. They speak English very well. So whenever plural is there, we are not using s or es. Then only what is used? What is used? Only first form of the verb is used. Next, we are having continuous tense. Now, continuous tense, where it is used? Yes, when the action is in progress, when the action is in continuation. So then at that time, what is there? That continuous tense is used, means the action starts in present and it is in continuous position. It is continuing further. Then what we use? We use present continuous tense. Okay. So now here what we use? We are using is, am, are, first form of verb plus ing. For example, he is writing in the notebook. The students are running in the park. Okay. The gardener is watering the plants. Okay. So it means that with he, she, it, and singular, we are using is, verb first form plus ing. And with I, we are using am plus verb first form plus ing. And with we, you, they, and plural, we are using are, verb first form plus ing. Okay. Next, afterwards, we are having perfect tense. What is perfect tense? It means that the action started and it has been completed. Okay, we are sure. We are sure of the completion of the action. Okay, when we are sure of the completion of action, then what is used? Present perfect tense is used. So now, in case of present perfect tense, okay, what you use? Has, have, and third form of the verb. What we use? Has, have, and third form of the verb is used. Okay, with he, she, it, singular, has, and third form of the verb. I, we, you, they. What we use? Have, and third form of the verb is used. Okay. For example, give the different examples. They have done the work. I have submitted my assignment. he, he has a pen. But that has is what is, it is used as a possession. This is not a perfect tense. You said, na, he has a pen. Where is third form of the verb? It is not used. So here, what is this? What is there? That it is only, you can say, possession. What you are saying. Okay. For example, we have visited the hall. Okay. We have attended the meeting. Okay. They have appointed him as the leader. Okay. So in this manner, perfect tense is used. So now perfect continuous tense, in case of perfect continuous tense, what we have? It means that the action started in present. Okay. But here two conditions are included, perfect and continuous. Means the action, we are sure that the action started. Okay. But it is still in progress. Okay. For example, he has been living in this house since 1947. It means that he has started living in this house for this. We are sure that he is living in this house. And but now he is also living in this house. It means that this action is in continuation. Okay. So this tense, it is a blend of, it is a mixture of the conditions of perfect as well as continuous tense. From here we are taking has and have. From here we are taking verb first form plus ing, and one more thing is to be introduced here, that is been. Okay, so it will be has, have, been, then verb first form plus ing is used. You know that again with he, she, it, and singular has been, and I, we, you, they, and plural, what is used? Have, been is used. What is used? Have, been, and verb first form plus ing must be there. And along with that, mostly in here some point of time is particularly given. Like I have given the example, he has been living in this house since 1947. Okay, here I'm giving the point of time, that is 1947. So there are two types of times to be given. One can be the duration of time, and another one will be the point of time. Okay, point of time. Now in case of duration of time, for example, 1 week, for 2 days, for 5 years, for several days, for many months. Okay, so it is duration of time. And in case of point of time, in case of point, particular point, since morning, since evening, okay, since afternoon, since 1947, okay, so since night, right? So it means that when particular point is given, then what we are using? Since. And when some duration of time is there, what we are using? For. Right? So what we are using? We are using for. Okay. So these are the all affirmative sentences, okay, where we are delivering positive statements. But in case of negative ones, how you will change simple present tense into negative? How you will change simple present tense into negative? You are using, what you are using? Yes, do not and does not. Okay, so do not and does not. So where we are using yes or yes, there we are using does. Otherwise, with plural I, we, you, they, what we are using? Do not. And when interrogatives are to be formed, do, does at the starting before the subject, and at the end sign of interrogation is used. Similarly here, negatives of continuous is not, am not, are not, and then verb first form plus ing. Give examples. I'm not. He's not taking his classes. Okay. She's not. She's not. We are not going to school, right? And when we have to form interrogative here also, then what? Is, am, are at the starting. Similarly here, negative of perfect tense. How you will formulate? Has and have. Has not, have not. For example, I have not done my work. Okay. They have not submitted their work. She has not agreed to my proposal. Okay, so these are the negative ones. Okay, and when we have to form interrogative of these, then how it will be changed? Has and have at the starting. For example, if I change she has not agreed to my proposal, how it will be changed into interrogative? Has she agreed to my proposal? Here I'm making not, because then it will be interrogative not. Has she not agreed to my proposal? Okay, right? Understood? So perfect continuous again, has not been, have not been, and otherwise has not, have not at the starting. So it is clear present tense. Okay. So actually I'm refreshing you because otherwise I have to teach you narration. Okay, we have to start with narration. Okay, but because that I thought that many students, they get confused in tenses while changing it. So this is the reason I have started with this. Now coming up to past tense. Okay, past tense. So first of all, simple past tense, where it is used. It means the action happened in the past. We know that the action happened. It started in the past, but we are not sure whether it completed or not. Okay. For example, he went there. Okay, to fetch some more details. Okay, right? So it means that he went there, but we are not sure that whether he has come back or not. So what is simple past tense? That when the action has taken place in past at some point. Okay. So now what we are using here, we are using only second form of verb. What we are using? Second form of verb with he, she, it, singular, I, we, you, they, and plural. With all we are using second form of verb. What we are using? Second form of verb. Give any other example. Give any other example. Yes. They read the book. Good. Yes. He wrote a letter. Good. Yes. Huh? He wasted. Okay, we visited Kashmir. Okay. So it means second form of verb is to be used here. Now coming up to past continuous tense. Past continuous tense, you know continuous means in progression. The work which is in progress. Okay. So now in this case, what is there? That action started in past and it was in continuity or it was in continuous condition in the past only. Okay. So as in present continuous, we are using is, am, are. Here we are using was, were, first form of verb plus ing. And you know with singulars, he, she, it, and singular, we are using was, verb first form plus ing. And with plurals, and as well as, sorry, here I will also be there. Okay. With plurals, we, you, they, and plural. We are using verb first form plus ing. What we are using? Verb first form plus ing. Okay. For example, yes. Okay, Ria was dancing beautifully in the concert. Okay. The girls were performing very well during the annual performance. Okay. Right. So in this manner, you will use continuous tense. So next coming up to perfect tense. Perfect means we are sure. We are sure. So what we are sure of? We are sure of, yes, it has started in the past and it has completed in the past. Okay. Yes. Yes. What we are using? Had plus third form of the verb with all. He, she, it, I, we, you, they, singular and plural. What we are using? Had and third form of the verb. What we are using? Had and third form of the verb we are always using. For example, she had written a, he had written a letter. It means he started the letter and he had completed it. Okay. They had submitted their work, means the process is finished. Okay. They had finished monitoring different subjects. It means the process which was undergoing, it has already been completed. Clear now? Okay. Next we are having perfect continuous tense. Means it was it started in past, but it was continuing also. Okay. For example, they had been living in Calcutta for many years. Okay. It means that they were living in past, but this action was in continuation in the past also. What you are using? Had been, verb first form plus ing, and since and for. What you are using? Since and for you are using. What you are using? Since and for. What you are using? Since and for. Okay. So with he, she, it, singular, I, we, you, they, with all you are using only had. Okay. Now coming up to the negative of these. Right. For negative of these, yes. Here what we are using? Negative of simple past tense. Did not. What we are using? Did not. And with did, you are using first form. Why we are using first form with did always? Yes, did is already second form of do. Already it exists. So with second form, you won't use second form and again second form. So what you will be using? With did, you are using first form of verb. And interrogatives, did will be at the start and at the end sign of interrogation. In continuous tense, was, were, not, was not, were not. He was not listening to my advice. They were not paying any attention towards the work to be done. Right? And moreover, when you are making interrogative, then this will be was and were at the starting. Okay, this is just a revision, I know. Okay, then perfect, had not, and had at the starting. Similarly, here in perfect continuous tense. So clear this revision done. Okay, next coming up to future tense. Now, in case of future tense, first of all, simple future tense, what we are using? Will and shall. And what? Which form of verb? First form of the verb. Okay, we are using first form of the verb. For example, he will do this. Okay, mostly it is said that with I and we are using shall, but with otherwise we are using will. Okay, but when we have studied models, there can be the use of will with I and we also. Okay, when we have some perfect determination. Okay, when we have made some promise. Okay, for example, I shall definitely do this. Okay, right? So it means when you are confirmed about the decision, then also with I and we you can use will. Okay, continuous when the action will be in progress in future tense. So will be, shall be, first form of verb plus ing. Okay, for example, he will be writing a letter by this time, by afternoon. Okay, so here most of the times the point of time or some point is always given. Okay, similarly perfect means action will be completed. Will have, shall have, which form of verb? Third form of verb. For example, they will have visited the auditorium by this time tomorrow. Okay, they will have submitted the work by the end of the day. Okay, so in future when we are talking about that this action will be completed or this action will be done, so now in this case we need to mention some time with reference to that time we are doing it, and here will have been, shall have been plus verb first form. Shall have been verb first form plus ing, and along with that since and for can be used. Okay, they will have been living in this house for many years till this time. Okay, they must they he for example they shall have been or they will have been doing this work by this evening. Okay, right? So in this manner, and negatives you will add not, will not, shall not. What is the short forms of will not? Won't, shall not, shan't. Okay, and in the interrogative it will be at the starting. Similarly here, will not be, shall not be. Will have not, shall have not. Will have not been, shall have not been. Okay, so this is all about the revision of tenses. Okay, right? So next we are going to start with the revision of narration. So narration, what is narration? Narration is also called as direct and indirect speech. Okay, direct and indirect speech. Now in this case, direct and indirect speech, when the words of the speaker, they are quoted as such without making any change, this is called as direct speech. But when the words of the speaker, they are spoken by some other person, some third person, okay, to make certain changes, okay, in the pronouns, then what it is called as? This is called as indirect speech. What it is called as? It is called as indirect speech. There are two main parts in case of narration. First is reporting. For example, see, he said, I am writing a letter. Okay, I am writing a letter. Okay, so now in this case, what we have, okay, so this is the actual words of the speaker. They are called as reported speech. What they are called as? Reported speech. And the verb which introduces the words of speaker, it is called as reporting verb. What it is called as? It is called as reporting verb. What it is called as? It is called as reporting verb. Right? Okay. So now, first of all, let us do the simple rules. Okay, in case of simple rules, when there is any kind of universal truth. Okay, so let me write down also side by side. So rule 1, first of all, if the reporting verb is in reporting, are we, when I'm writing reporting verb. reporting verb is in simple present or simple future, then there won't be any change in tense. Then there won't be any change in tense. For example, he will say, okay, or he says, I write a letter. Okay, so now this is in simple present tense, no change. He says that he writes a letter. It will be in the same simple present tense. He writes a letter. Okay, for example, he will say, I'm going to the market. He will say that he is going to the market. Okay, so then next rule is when there is universal truth, some scientific facts, historical facts, and in case of habitual action also, right? Then what is there? There is also no change in any tense. There is no change in the tense. For example, if I say universal truth, the saint said God is everywhere. Naturally, God is everywhere. So how it will be? The saint said that God is everywhere. Scientific fact, for example, he said the water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. It is scientific fact. So what it will be? He said that the water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Next historical fact. For example, India became independent on 15 August 1947. No change. He said that India became independent on 15 August 1947. Okay. So these are the just basic rules of narration that we have started. In the next class, we will proceed further towards the rules of tenses. Okay. So if you have any problem now, you can ask me. So thank you, students.